you go. It's better.
Okay, so I want to talk to you guys about coffee. And well, first I'm going to start with a quick little legend about where it came from. In Ethiopia around 900 AD, there was this goat herder named Kaldi, and he lost his goats up in a mountain. And when he went and he finally found these goats, they were dancing around because they were all hyped up on caffeine because they had been eating the berry off of this plant that nobody had ever seen before. So he took a bunch of this plant and he went back to a monastery, and the preachers thought, oh, this is evil stuff, we got to burn it. So they lit it on fire, and then they smelled it, and they're like, oh, maybe we should give it another chance. So then they started drinking it and using it for prayer so that it would help them stay up through the night. Well, soon it ended up in Yemen, and then it went to Turkey, and it just expanded through the Middle East, and then some people from Europe got a hold of it, and it quickly expanded through Europe. And of course the Italians made espresso, and a lot of people really loved it in Europe. And that brings us to Asia. Well, the Dutch ended up bringing it to Japan around the mid-1800s, and a little bit after that, the French brought it, and when they colonized Vietnam, and they started growing it in Vietnam. And Vietnamese coffee is what has turned into a passion of mine. So I love Vietnamese coffee. I went there a couple years ago, and I found it, and I just fell in love with the coffee. And so I've been doing some research since I've been in this class, and then I found out that coffee grows in the Yunnan province of China. But it's too good for the people in China to drink. But it's not good enough for us, because we're coffee snobs over here in the United States, and that's good. So what's interesting is the coffee that I'm so passionate about is the coffee that's drank in China all the time. And and another interesting thing about why coffee took off in China in the first place was, the Chinese medicine people, they looked at it as a natural cure for things like insomnia. I know it sounds weird. I can't figure it out in my head. I guess maybe they had a problem with ADHD, but so I don't know. Some of you probably tried my coffee earlier today, and the last 2 years I've been traveling the world looking for the best coffee that I can find. I've been around the world 2 times, and still today the coffee from Vietnam is the best coffee that I've been able to put my hands on. And my entire mission the last 2 years has been based around cat shit. So yeah, there's a coffee in Vietnam, well, all around Southeast Asia that's eaten by this animal called the luwak in Indonesian, but it's also we know it as the palm civet, and it naturally eats the coffee off the plants and then poops it out. And I had some of that when I was in Vietnam 2 years ago with Hirsch and Tui's class, and I fell in love with it. And then I researched and I found out these animals are treated terribly by the people that are producing it. So I came and I decided I needed to figure out a way that I can make these animals' lives better. So I decided to get into the coffee industry myself, and I'm the first person who's been able to successfully import massive amounts of coffee into the United States from Vietnam. And I wouldn't have been able to do it if I hadn't gone overseas with Hirsch and Tui 2 years ago.
Are you retailing it yet?
Huh?
Where do you retail it?
Well, I sell it out of my backpack like a drug dealer. And I also have a website. It's owncoffeetea.com, and I'm also able to be found on Facebook. And if you want a business card, I've got some available.
Why is Vietnam coffee so different from others?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with the soil conditions and the altitude that it's grown in, and just the regular weather patterns.
So, about the cat coffee, was that what you were giving us back there?
No. In fact, that stuff in Vietnam, it costs $1,000 for a kilogram. And if you ever taste it, you'll understand why. But it's really kind of unethical to drink it. But at the same time, if you can get it from the wild animals, I highly recommend it.
Hard to catch it.
So, what were you able to do as far as helping these animals?
Okay, so my plan is I want to raise money. I'm going to end up starting a nonprofit organization to raise money, and then go over to the farms that are producing it and help them turn their entire coffee farms into giant cages, because as of right now, they keep one animal, and they're about the size of a large house cat. And they're very, very smart animals. They love people. They love interacting with each other. They're easy to litter box train. So there's no reason why they need to be in these 8 by 8 by 4 foot cages, one by one. And all they get to eat is coffee and bananas their entire lives. So I want to turn their entire farms into a giant cage, so these animals don't realize that they're being held captive. And then when they're young, teach them to use the litter boxes and interact with people, so it's so much easier to deal with.
Yeah, Tony is one of those success stories. He has a vision, he follows it with passion. Wow, awesome.